All right, good morning, and thank you for tuning in to our NCAA Division I South Region coverage here at the Mark Bostick Golf Course on the beautiful campus of the University of Florida here in Gainesville. Thank you for tuning in today. Coverage today is brought to you by Running Lane. We appreciate the opportunity, and thank you for tuning in. Please, if you don't mind, hit that like and subscribe button at the bottom, and we will be sure to continue to give you as much coverage as possible. We are just a moment away here from the start. If you can chat if you can let us know in the chat if you can hear everything okay. We're going to be providing as much commentary as possible throughout the races this morning. Provide you some course map updates as well. One minute to the start here. All right, and we are underway this morning here at the Mark Bostick Golf Course. And as I mentioned earlier, we're going to be providing as much commentary as possible. What's at the line today, or what's at stake today, excuse me. Top two teams in the South region will earn automatic bids to the NCAA champs in Charlottesville, Virginia on November 18th. There are also 13 at-large bids at stake across the 9 different regions here that are all taking place today. This is your first region of the day for Division I. Last year of note, Parker Valby of the University of Florida was your women's champion. She covered the course at John Hunt Park in Huntsville, Alabama in 19 minutes and 17 seconds. So just a little bit of a time reference to see what maybe the difficulty of the two different courses, how they compare to one another. So right now it looks like it's Parker Valby to an early 10 to 15 meter lead. No surprise there. And then the ladies field is tight, very tight right now, bunched up. Going to be very early to tell anything as far as team scores or competition. We do have a competitor closing the gap to Parker there. Coming into today's competition, we do have the women of Florida ranked 6th nationally. Tennessee women are ranked 15th. Alabama is ranked 16th. And Lipscomb 19th. Ole Miss is 25th. So there are a couple of teams that are definitely worthy of an at-large bid this morning at this South region here in Gainesville. coming through the 1 kilometer mark here. 2:57 on the clock right now for Parker there. Looks like your second competitor threw in 3:03, 3:04. Looks like the top 5 runners have kind of separated themselves from the rest of the field. And then there's a gap back to the peloton. Parker Valby doing what she normally does, taking the lead out strong to the early lead here this morning in this women's race. One thing you gotta love about the way she races is she takes it out hard and she pushes the pace all the way. Not gonna leave anything to chance or any last minute decisions for Parker this morning. The course this morning is on a golf course, and while sections of it are definitely very well manicured and groomed, there are some very bumpy spots on the course, as you could probably tell by the jostling of the camera. I might lose a kidney after today's race, but that's okay. It's all worth it to give you the coverage that you need and desire. Coming up through that 2 kilometer mark there, no, excuse me, that's the mile mark, and 4:55 or so for Parker Valby. Looks like it's University of Alabama in second and third place. I do recognize one of those competitors as Doris there for the University of Alabama. But we will try to get you some team scores updates here in just a moment as well. All right, so you can see there our top 10 competitors through the first couple of splits there. Get an idea of the pace that they're running on this course this morning. Kind of get an idea. And you can definitely see the field has strung out quite a bit already as we're coming up here now to start our second loop. So ladies going to do a couple loops out here, and then ultimately we'll make a left-hand turn for the runners for their finish chute that you'll be able to see here just a moment to your right. Parker's all smiles this morning as she's got her fans out here cheering for her on her home course. All right, you can see some of the times populating through here through that 2,400 meter mark for the ladies. You can start to see the separation that has been created early on in this field by the pressure that Parker is putting on the field. Big gap back to 5th place, which is the rest of the field right now. You can get an idea of that through the shot here. So right now they're coming basically back down towards where they started, and then they're going to start another loop here. They get a nice downhill section on the course.
Big bumps, guys. Big bumps. That one wasn't too bad. That one.
All right, Parker continuing to put the pressure on the rest of the field, as it looks like she's got about a 50 to 75 meter over 2nd and 3rd place, which are 2 ladies of the University of Alabama. You can see those results at PT timing, but we will try to flash those on the screen as well for you. Yeah, so we're going to have the team results coming in through that 3,200 meter mark for you, so you kind of get an idea. That's through 2 miles roughly, so just shy or just over halfway through the race, we'll get an idea of what the team competition is looking like this morning. Of course, as mentioned earlier, Florida has got to be the favorite coming into today, ranked 6th nationally, led by Parker and first-year head cross-country coach Will Palmer. So running well this morning. So right now in the team standings through just over 2 miles now, we've got Alabama in the team lead with Tennessee in 2nd and Florida 3rd. Ole Miss rounding out your top 4, but the points are very close. Just 9 points looks like separates 1st through 4th place here in the team competition, and Lipscomb University is not far back in 5th there with 107 points. So a lot on the line today, and it is a very tight race. All these teams are hoping for the auto, but if not, they've got to run well and prove to the committee that they deserve to be at the national championship for that at-large bid. You can see some of the undulations of the course here that the runners have to navigate. If you're not packed in too well, you can avoid those, but if you're back in the pack there, which a lot of the ladies will be, you have a little bit of difficulty getting through, navigating that without going through some humps and some ruts. But if you got a good lead like Parker does, you get to choose your footing wherever it may be on the course. That lead seems to be remaining about the same for Parker. All right, Parker shaking out the arms now, coming down this last big downhill for her final lap of the morning. on this 6-kilometer course. That's just about 3.7 miles for these for those sitting at home. So the women are running 6K today, and so we're starting that final lap of the day for Parker Valby of the University of Florida, looking to lead wire to wire here with about a 50-meter lead over her competition. All right, so that is Parker Valby obviously in the lead. We've got Hilda of University of Alabama, and we've got Doris, University of Alabama. And then we've got a Florida State competitor back into 4th position, followed up with Daphne of the University of Miami. And we've got the Alabama transfer to the University of Florida, Flomena Ascol, into 6th place there for the University of Florida. Parker Valby has now come through 4,500 meters or so in 14:12. So yeah, she's so this team competition is going to be tight now. As we mentioned earlier, top 2 teams got an automatic bids right now, and through the 4,500 meter mark, we are just trying to determine who is going to secure that spot. So they're just about 1,500 meters or so at this split that we're going to provide on screen in just a moment here. So right now in the team standings through 4,500 meters unofficially, it's Tennessee, Ole Miss, Lipscomb coming through right now in the top 3 positions, but there's still some work to be done. Okay, it looks like Florida's jumped to the lead now. They've had all 5 come through with 72 points, Tennessee in 73 points, and then Alabama back with 83 points. So it is a very, very tight race right now in the team qualification for that auto bid. Any and every place matters this morning. That's what's at stake. That's the beautiful thing about cross country. Obviously, University of Florida's got this tremendous athlete in Parker Valby, probably one of the front runners for the individual title here in just a couple weeks in Charlottesville, Virginia. But it is a team sport, and her teammates are doing what they need to do as well to ensure that they are going to stamp that bid into nationals right now, as they are leading the way through 4,500 meters. All right, we're coming up on the finish now here. We are just about 300 meters or so from the finish. We're going to do a U-turn and we're going to get into the finish corral. We're going to try to provide coverage for all the runners this morning finishing up. But right now it has been Parker Valby leading wire to wire so far this morning, just really showing her dominance all morning long. All right, if things hold right now through that 4,500 meter mark, it's going to be Parker Valby of the University of Florida and the Florida Gators taking home the South Region Championship. But as I said, every place matters and a lot can happen in that last 1,500 meters. You do have those Alabama competitors trying to close that gap to Parker, but it might just be too little too late here as we're coming through the finish line right now.